The regular meeting, April 16th, 2013 at 6:30. Please call the roll, Krista.
Yep, we'll call the roll and do
Okay.
whatever.
Mayor Girani,
Here.
Councilwoman Barber,
Here.
Councilman Fisher,
Here.
Councilman Girl,
Here.
Councilman Hug,
Here.
Councilman Morris,
Here.
Councilman Odekirk,
Here.
Councilwoman Coleman,
Here.
Councilman Turk.
Here.
The invocation will be said by Reverend Jeffrey Chubb, of the Theodore Street Lutheran Church. And after that, it will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Let us pray. God of all, the tragic events out in Boston remind us as we begin this evening that the freedom that we enjoy is indeed costly. And so we pray for those who have been affected, that you would be with them to bring healing in their lives and return their lives to safety and joy. Loving and gracious God, you are indeed the giver of all good gifts, and we come to you as we begin this meeting to seek your wisdom, your guidance, your courage, and support. Be with your council members here and their deliberations, and help them to be wise in the decisions they make for the good of all those who have placed their trust and confidence in their leadership. Give them insight to lead with integrity, that their decisions may reflect what is right and good. Give them a spirit of cooperation. Keep them from short-sightedness and pettiness, and guard them from blind self-interest. When they disagree, help them to listen closely to each other and find the way forward to the best course of action for the good of all. And finally, dear Lord, grant all the humility to seek your will in all that is said and done, both in service here this evening and in all aspects of our daily lives. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
For which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother. You okay?
Next on the agenda is approval of minutes. Is there a motion that the minutes of the pre-council meeting held on April 1st and the regular meeting held on April 2nd, 2013, stand approved as recorded?
So moved. Second.
Motion seconded to approve. Councilwoman Barber.
Aye.
Councilman Fisher.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Odekirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Mayor Girani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next, council committee reports. Baseball committee report.
Baseball committee consisting of myself, Councilwoman Quillman, and Councilman Morris met 5:30 in the executive conference room to discuss the concession prices of the Slammers. We're happy to hear that they have not raised any of the concession prices. In fact, they've lowered 20 of them. They have $1 hot dog every day, 30 minutes before the gates, after the gates open, before the game starts, and $2.25 hamburgers. They also sold more luxury suites to date than they did all last year, and their ticket sales are up 30%. So we're looking forward to a great year from the Slammers and the owners, and hopefully folks out there will attend.
Finance committee report.
You're on the Finance Committee comprised of Councilman Girl, Councilman Hug, and myself met yesterday after the pre-council meeting to review the 2013 first quarter financials, the 2013 value camp, personnel summary, conference travel and seminar, treasurer disbursements, and regular claims. Found them all to be in order and recommended approval. And if I could call Rachel Mayer to come up to just briefly go through the 2013 first quarter financials to give you an idea of where we're at and where we expect to be.
Thank you, Mayor and Council members. What we discussed yesterday at the Finance Committee was that overall, after the first quarter of 2013, we're tracking fairly in line with what we anticipated from a budgetary perspective in both the general and the water and sewer and the parking operating funds. There was one area that I mentioned as far as an issue that we're watching closely, and it's in the overtime area within the fire department. However, the administration and in conjunction with the Public Safety Committee is reviewing this right now to try to figure out ways to bring those costs more in line with what we had anticipated as far as in the 2013 budget. But overall, the news is positive. It's pretty much where we expected after the end of the first quarter. If you guys have any questions, and the report is available on the website under the Finance Department.
I have none. Anybody have any questions?
Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel. That's it, Mike?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Public Service Committee report.
Your Honor, the Public Service Committee comprised of Councilman Fisher, Councilwoman Barber, and myself met here in the Council Chamber Planning Department earlier this morning to review change orders, contracts, final payments, all to be in order. At one informational item, the IDOT has started their first phase of environmental phase for the widening of I-80 between Ridge Road and Route 30. So from New Lenox all the way out to Ridge Road. It'll be 3 lanes in each direction. You know, the environmental phase is going on now. Then they have to do the engineering, and funding has to be secured. So, you know, I don't know if any of us will be here to see it, but
for the ribbon cutting.
it's yeah. So, but I don't know if I don't see Jim here tonight. Jim, do you have anything else to add on that? It's quite a ways off, though, right? Right. That's it, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I show no other reports. We did have a request to move the proclamations up this evening. First is a proclamation honoring President St. Joseph Medical Center and being named one of the top hospitals in Chicago and the suburbs for 2012.
There it is. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry about this. You gonna fix this? All right. Okay, this is a proclamation honoring President St. Joseph Medical Center. And just on a personal note, I had a firsthand experience a couple months ago with St. Joseph's. My dad was rushed to the emergency room by the Joliet Fire Department ambulance on the first Saturday in February, and he didn't know exactly what was wrong. And they admitted him Saturday evening. Sunday morning, they knew what the problem was. Monday, they put a pacemaker in and sent him home Tuesday. And he's received fantastic care. It's you know, the time my brother and I spent up there, you get a whole new appreciation for what these people do on a daily basis. And every once in a while, he'll show, since that time, he's celebrated his 87th birthday. Once in a while, he shows up at a council meeting here. He's here tonight. He brought his own car tonight in case we go into closed session, because last time he got stuck here. So, but I appreciate the service he got, and it was the whole new appreciation. But the proclamation reads as follows. Whereas President St. Joseph's Medical Center is an outstanding area employer, corporate community citizen, and has been a pillar in the Joliet community for many years, providing high-quality health care to our citizens. And whereas Chicago Magazine has named President St. Joseph's Medical Center to its prestigious list of top hospitals in Chicago and the suburbs. And President St. Joseph Medical Center is continuing its commitment of providing advanced, compassionate, holistic care with a spirit of healing and hope to Joliet and surrounding communities. And whereas the medical center's management staff, medical staff, board of directors, and other committed volunteers are congratulated and thanked, since it is their work and contributions that are reflected in this recognition, as well as the excellent patient care provided by the medical center on a daily basis. Now therefore, I, Thomas Girani, Mayor of the City of Joliet, on behalf of the Joliet City Council, do hereby congratulate President St. Joseph's Medical Center on being named one of the top hospitals in Chicago and the suburbs for 2012, by Chicago Magazine and for achieving this recognition of excellence, and assigned Thomas Durrani, dated April 16th, 2013. Congratulations. Okay, thank you.
I appreciate this, Mr. Mayor. We appreciate this. I am really honored to be the president of St. Joe's Medical Center. More importantly, the honor is the medical centers for the city of Joliet and most of its citizens entrusting their care to us. It's a very humbling thing to be able to provide care to so many people in this great city, and we will continue to make all of you proud. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next is a proclamation proclaiming April 26, 2013 as Arbor Day in the city of Joliet.
If I could have Rita Renwick. She's been our tree board chair for 25 years, maybe?
23 about, I
About 23 years. And Jim Tiber, our city arborist, and you've been our arborist now 15, 16 years, something like that. But anyway, we have an Arbor Day proclamation today, and it reads as follows. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. This holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. Trees can clean the air, produce oxygen, provide habitat for wildlife, reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, and moderate the temperature. Whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic viability of business areas, and beautify our communities. And whereas Joliet has been recognized as a Tree City USA for the 22nd consecutive year by the National Arbor Day Foundation, and Joliet desires to continue its tree planting ways. Now therefore, I, Thomas Durrani, Mayor of the City of Joliet, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim April 26, 2013 as Arbor Day in the City of Joliet, and I urge all citizens to support the efforts to care for our trees and woodlands and to support our community's forestry program. If I could add a personal note, Rita was probably single-handedly helped myself and our secretary at the time, Willie Yeager, a lot of us know Willie, start our forestry program in the city. And I can remember very vividly, I was thinking today when I heard it was 22nd year, you, I, and Willie sitting around the old-time typewriter putting together the first application, but without your help, Rita, this wouldn't continue, and I personally appreciate all the volunteer time you put in for our city and our tree program. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, it has been 22 years, and I will say that there were a few other people that were in it. You know, we were kind of the complainers about, hey, we're cutting trees down and we're not planting any. And so, of course, this guy said, well, let's get a committee together. And as a result, we've been a Tree City for 22 years. And I think that really is a reflection of the city council, the leaders in the city, that they support an urban forestry program. Many other cities have this, but not a lot of them have done it for 22 years. And I think that people in the city know that it increases the value of their homes. I personally bought a house in Joliet because it had huge elm trees in the parkway, and our street was beautiful. And luckily, those trees have been replanted, and we still have a very beautiful street on the street where I live. We do, as part of attaining or achieving Tree City USA, have an Arbor Day celebration every year, and this year it will be on Arbor Day, which is that day, the 26th, is Arbor Day throughout the whole state of Illinois. And our celebration this year will be at Forest Park School. And in conjunction with that, we had a poster contest. And so we have a few of our winners here. And Karen Fonte, who is a newly appointed tree board member, is going to help hand out plaques, and we're going to call our attendees up. Not everybody was here, and the posters are on display in the lobby near the west entrance, and they'll be there all this coming week. So first of all, let's have Corey Caldwell come up, and she has an honorable mention. Just stay right here. And then I will read the names of the other students. Izel Ramirez was another honorable mention. Third place was Johnny Leone. Second place, Samantha Parsons. And we have our first place winner, Brianna Bly. And Brianna, come on up. Okay, so, you know, we're really happy that they came. Their parents came. Most of the time when we have students come, people have never been to City Hall. They even have a hard time finding it. And so, and how nice, this is the first time I've been here with the new arrangements made and the new seating, and it's wonderful. So I think these two, would you like to shake the hands of the City Council and the Mayor? Okay, thanks for coming. Okay, you're welcome. Nice tonight.
Back up here.
I don't know if she can get us on.
There you go. There you go. Get everybody in there.
Everybody there? We are. Wonderful.
All righty.
Thank you.
Good job, girls. Nice job.
One more.
Good job, girls. Good job.
Next on the agenda, agenda items and reports. Treasurer's report for February 2013. It is recommended this report be received and placed on file. In Council Memo 147-13, position vacancies. It is recommended the city manager be authorized to fill 2 police patrol officer positions.
So moved.
Second?
Questions? Krista?
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Fisher.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hugg.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Barber.
Aye.
Mayor Girani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Ordinances and resolutions. Under ordinances, Council Memo 148-13, an ordinance approving a special use permit to allow an auto repair shop in a 50 by 88-foot warehouse space at 511 Theodore Street. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Krista?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hugg.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Barber.
Aye.
Councilman Fisher. Mayor Girani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 149-13, an ordinance authorizing the ceding of Joliet's 2013 volume cap to Wilt Kankakee Regional Development Authority and the Assist Mortgage Credit Certificate Program. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved. Second.
Questions? Krista?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hugg.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Barber.
Aye.
Councilman Fisher.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Mayor Girani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under Resolutions, Council Memo 151-13, a resolution appropriating motor fuel tax funds for the 2013 MFT roadways resurfacing contract. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second?
Question? Krista?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Barber.
Aye.
Councilman Fisher.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hugg.
Aye.
Mayor Girani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 152-13, a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement with the County of Will for the McDonough Street roadway reconstruction and traffic signal modification project. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second?
Krista?
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
I do have one question, Mayor.
Sure.
Did we get a hold of the homeowners yesterday or no?
Actually,
Done.
I spoke directly with Mr. Zapaniak yesterday morning, and I believe he was going to take this back to his homeowners association.
What was your feeling?
I don't know. It's hard to
Okay.
read, yeah.
All
It's,
right.
I think it was the first time he was asked to bring money to the table, so.
Councilwoman?
I'll vote aye.
Sure.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, I actually spoke to Jim Sapaniak last night, and he wanted to send his apologies that he was not able to attend today, but he did appreciate very much so the $10,000 that the city was going to contribute towards the project, and wanted to thank, the mayor, the city council, and also the staff for their hard work and efforts. And then also, he did say that it's going to be going back, the $15,000 contribution from the residents is going to go to their homeowners board. I think he said the first week of May, so relatively soon. But we should know something at that time. But he did want to thank everybody on the council and the mayor. So.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jan.
I'll vote aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Barber?
Aye.
Councilman Fisher?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 153-13, a resolution appropriating motor fuel tax funds for the McDonough Street roadway reconstruction and traffic signal modification project 2013. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved. Second.
Questions? Krista?
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Barber?
Aye.
Councilman Fisher?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 154-13, a resolution appropriating additional funds for the Phase 1 engineering for the Washington Street over Spring Creek Improvement Project. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Krista?
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Barber?
Aye.
Councilman Fisher?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 155-13 was approved at yesterday's pre-council meeting. Council Memo 156-13, a resolution approving a recovery agreement between the Housing Authority of Joliet and HUD. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second?
Questions? Krista?
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Barber?
Aye.
Councilman Fisher?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 157-13, a resolution authorizing the release of executive session minutes. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? None. Krista?
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Fisher.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Barber.
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next, approval of regular current bills. Council Memo 159-13, regular payroll for March 8th through March 21st, 2013. $3,035,683.35. Treasurer's disbursements for March 2013, $11,008,259.24. And regular claims for March 2013, $3,064,165.38. It is recommended said regular payroll, treasurer's disbursements, and regular claims be approved.
So moved.
Second?
Questions? Comments? Krista?
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye, with the exception of those pertaining to my employer. Oops.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Barber.
Aye.
Councilman Fisher.
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next, bids and contracts under award of contracts. Council Memo 161-13, award a contract for the 2013 MFT roadways resurfacing contract. Council Memo 162-13, award the 2013 Utilities Restoration Program Phase 1 contract. Council Memo 163-13, award a contract for the emergency repair to the number 1 raw pump at the East Side wastewater treatment plant. Council Memo 164-13 was approved at yesterday's pre-council meeting. Council Memo 165-13, Award the 2012 Illinois Green Infrastructure Grant Footing Tile Separation Project. And Council Memo 166-13, award a contract for Rowell Avenue, Spencer Road at CN Crossing Quiet Zone Improvements. It is recommended Council Memos 161 through 163-13 and 165 through 166-13 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Krista?
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Barber. Aye. Councilman Fisher.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Mayor Girani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Amendments, change orders, and payments. Council Memo 168-13, approved change order number 4 and payment request number 5 and final for the 2012 roadways resurfacing contract. Council Memo 169-13, approved change order number 4 for the 2012 automatic meter reading installation project. Council Memo 170-13, approved change order number 2 and payment request number 8A for the 2012 City of Joliet aggregate contract. Council Memo 171-13, approve amendment number 1 for Phase 1 engineering services for the Washington Street over Spring Creek improvement project. It is recommended Council Memos 168 through 171-13 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Questions?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Barber. Aye. Councilman Fisher.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Yes.
Mayor Girani.
Break up the monotony, yeah. Aye.
Motion carried. Under licenses and permit applications, Council Memo 173-13 was approved at yesterday's pre-council meeting. Council Memo 175-13, an application for a drive-in permit at McDonald's. It is recommended McDonald's restaurant located at 1555 North Broadway Street be issued a drive-in facility permit.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions?
Motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Barber.
Aye.
Councilman Fisher.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Mayor Girani.
Aye.
Next, we have mayor and council comments.
Councilman Morris?
I know earlier we said a prayer for the people in Boston. Personally, on behalf of my family and myself, I'd just like to send out a prayer, and also to the City Council of Boston, our counterparts, that they are deeply in myself and my family prayers. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Sunday afternoon, I was privileged to attend the Joliet West production of Crazy for You. And I just want to compliment the students and the teachers there. It was an outstanding performance. The actors and the actresses were terrific, the musicians, the production, and again, the faculty that helped them. So kudos to the people of Joliet West. They did a tremendous job. And also then, in the spirit of Arbor Day, last week I was at a meeting for the Glenwood Manor Homeowners Association, and it was brought up about the emerald ash borer that's affecting the trees in Joliet, and specifically in Glenwood Manor. And it was reported that about 90% of the ash trees in that subdivision are going to be cut down, which is going to be over 100 trees just in that subdivision. And I know this is a problem that's citywide and region-wide. And Tom Thanis, I know last year we talked a little bit about the city trying to help out. One of the questions that was coming up from several residents is, do we have a plan to help replace the trees? And my answer was, I don't think we do presently, but I think it's something that we should discuss maybe at the committee level. And I don't know if anyone has an answer what other communities are doing, but we're going to have neighborhoods that are going to be treeless at the end of this. And I think we should try to be, I know we're on a tight budget, and we've done a great job meeting budget, but I think we should look to spend some funds. It will affect the value of homes in this area if we don't try to help out.
I believe the Land Use Committee last year reviewed a proposal from Jim Tiber for developing an emerald ash borer plan. And the plan obviously has to deal with the infested trees first, removing them. Then secondly, looking for replacement dollars. And I know Jim just filed an application for a grant, a statewide grant, and we almost got it. We received some information that there were probably about 200 communities that had filed for it, and obviously the award goes to 20 or 30 of them, but we found out where we fell short. So the next round we'll be back in there looking for dollars for that. That's probably the primary focus right now, seeking grant money. There is money there. We have talked to some corporate entities in town. If they're looking for a project to support, that might be one of them. So they'd have a nice opportunity to sponsor X number of trees, whether it's several dozens or hundreds. That'd be a great project for a local corporation to embrace.
Thank you.
Mayor, while we're on that subject, I appreciate your comments. I think you're right on with this whole thing, and it's going to be bigger. This is going to have a much larger effect on our community than any kind of a grant could do, because these grants are 40,000 here, 40,000 there, and that wouldn't even cover a quarter of Glenwood Manor subdivision. This is a very, very serious problem, and serious problems do require capital. So I appreciate your comments, and I think the council should, whether I'm on the council in the future or not, should look forward to possibly looking at how do we deal with this issue, because you're right, Councilman Odekirk, a subdivision like a Glenwood Manor or other subdivisions, some of the newer subdivisions in District 1, there may be no trees for blacks. I went to several conferences and saw some communities in Michigan and Indiana that are a little bit further ahead of us as far as the time that the ash borer hit. And one that comes to mind is Fort Wayne, Indiana. And they showed us pictures over a 3-year period, 4-year period of what a neighborhood looked like and what a neighborhood, what the picture was of that neighborhood 3, 4, or 5 years later. It will take time to reforest, again, just like we were talking with Rita, with the elm disease. But I truly appreciate your comments, Bob, on that, and I think it's something that this city needs to address in the future.
Thank you. Get something else, Bob?
No.
Done? Yes, Jan.
Last Friday, I was privileged to be a judge for the Mr. Omega and Mrs. Alpha Omega for the Joliet West High School. And if anyone's worried about what our kids are doing, let me tell you, these were the top 20 students at Joliet West, and it was very hard to pick one. They all are outstanding. Their ambitions, some speak 3 languages, they want to be doctors, pediatricians, scientists. These kids are amazing, and we won't know the winner until the beginning of May, but I just want everyone to know out there our kids are really doing well. And different note, I had talked to Commander Roachner. I've been getting calls from the far west side subdivision, and it's been a problem. It's grand. Anyway, I'm going to have Commander Roachner talk about it. What's the name of the subdivision again?
Caton Ridge.
Caton Ridge, thank you. Caton Ridge with the Theodore with the speeding, and there's been some accidents, and the neighbors really want a lower speed limit, and they also want a stop sign out there. But the study that was done last year, I'll turn it over to Commander.
Yep. Yeah, in May of 2012, there was a request, and it was through you, Jan, to us, from a neighbor in Caton Ridge for a request for an all-way stop at Theodore, Great Ridge, and Roth. If you're familiar with it, it's a 4-way intersection. To the south is Great Ridge, to the north is Roth. The name just changes when it crosses Theodore, but it's a 4-way intersection. Right now, there's a stop sign on Great Ridge, a stop sign on Roth, and of course, nothing on Theodore. Once it was brought to our attention, we contacted engineering, traffic engineers, and Russ Lubush did a great job. He did a traffic study for us. It took about a month to do. The findings that they came back with was that a stop sign there was not warranted. I can read you what came back in his report, because it really makes sense. But it said, upon reviewing all traffic data for this request, the Department of Public Works does not recommend the approval of stop signs at the intersection of Theodore Street, Great Ridge, and Roth. And the reason behind it is that the installation of stop signs will not improve the overall safety or operation of the intersection. They also did a study at the same time on the speed, and based on state law and where the speeds were at, where they did their study, the speed was right on the mark at 40 miles an hour in that area, so that would not change. I then had the traffic unit look into how many accidents we've had at that intersection. From 2010, and this was just the other day I did it again, from 2010 until yesterday's date, there's been 9 accidents at the intersection. At the intersection itself, there's been a couple by the train tracks, which are east of the location. There's been 9 at the intersection. In the last 2 years, there's only been 2 accidents at that intersection. The last one being on March 8th, of this year. So,
After the other call again.
which is the call you got, exactly. So it's not a major intersection with accidents. I think it more has to do with careful driving. When I looked at the accidents, one of the main tickets that was written on the accidents was actually, there was, out of the 9 tickets, 7 of them were for turning left, going into Great Ridge, heading westbound on Theodore. But the interesting part of it was all the vehicles were stopped before they made their turn. So a stop sign really wouldn't help. They stopped, they just weren't paying attention, pulled out in front of another vehicle. If you look down, I took photos. I mean, you can see clearly down Theodore from the area, so I don't know if it's just people not paying attention or what it is. There is some issues when you pull out of Great Ridge and Roth. For your vision is obscured by the Caton Ridge subdivision sign. I did take pictures from there at the stop area. There's probably about maybe 5 car lengths before you see a vehicle coming because of the stone sign there. So that could be an issue. That hasn't been the cause of the main accidents, but it could be an issue down the line. But as far as the stop sign or the speed, neither one is warranted right now. We have had extra patrols since last year. This came about, and we continue them to today. So I think that slowed down the accidents there also. So there's only been one in about a year now at the intersection. So.
Yeah, there was a real serious one last June where it took out the whole 2 backyards, took a pool, the fence. The kids have been out there, they would have been killed.
Right.
And that's what the residents are concerned about, is the speed.
Right, and that kid, as you know, fled the scene of the accident, so.
Right.
Whether or not alcohol or drugs was involved is unknown, but, there was no, actually, it wasn't at the intersection, it was before the intersection, so there was no intersection relation there, except for, he did leave the road there in that area, so.
Thank you. So I believe that's your area, Councilman Hood, Caton Ridge?
Well,
Well, I know it's,
Yeah,
okay,
right.
between the 2 of you, so I would leave it up to you. Do you want another traffic study done after this year, or, because I know the residents are very concerned.
I mean, I think it's something we should probably look into, but I'd like to study it a little more. This is the first time I'm hearing about it, but I think it's something, maybe we can send it to a committee, Jan? What committee do you think maybe that should go to?
Public safety.
Public safety,
Probably, yes.
Okay. I mean, if we want to, the mayor wants to assign that to public safety, we can take a look
Maybe we
at
can
it.
have some of the residents come in with their concerns.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's all I have, thank you.
No,
I was just going to comment on Councilman Oderkirk's, who brought up the trees. And talking to Jim Tiber, your Councilman Fisher is correct. District 1 and District 3 are going to be hit hard. In fact, I was told by Jim that my subdivision will be probably the hardest hit in District 1. Now, it was also brought to my attention, just as a suggestion, and Tom and the staff may already be aware of it. Obviously, I think you are, and moving along. But some communities like Naperville and I think Homer Glen that have addressed this problem have gotten to the point, because they don't have the budgets to replace all their trees either, of doing a 50-50 split with the residents who choose to do it. It's by choice. And that I understand if you enter a program like that, many of the nurseries give quite a discount, noticeable discount to commit to them. So I think the staff is already on trying to solve that problem. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman?
I have no comments here.
Just happy to see Councilwoman Barber back.
Comments?
I would like to address the media reports indicating that I will be resigning my position as a city council member from the District 4. I have had to address a few health issues during my recent months. I am pleased to report that I am doing much better and know that I am up to the task of serving on the city council. I will continue to serve on this city council, for the remainder of my term, unless my health requires me to step down. I would inform the mayor and my fellow council members, then I would make my announcement to the public. There will be no future need in speculating whether I am leaving my seat of the city council. Now let me return to my business that is before the city council and make sure we work together and to have the city move in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you. I have no comments. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.